Hi, I'm Mickey the Mercenary Geologist, today with another in our highly popular CEO interview series. Today I'm with a gentleman, a geologist that I met at PDAC, David Kelley. David is the CEO of Chakana Copper. And David, as you well know, we're both geologists with probably more experience than we always like to admit. But as a geologist, my first cut with so many junior companies is always the project. And that's what attracted me to Chakana. And why don't you tell us a little bit about your project in Peru?
Yeah, it's as it should be. It should be the first cut, right? And I've been in the industry long enough to know that my time's limited, and I don't want to spend any time on a project that I'm not really excited about. But this project is really special. It's a cluster of tourmaline breccia pipes. It's very high grade, copper, gold, and silver. The breccia pipes crop out at surface. We think they're large enough to be mined profitably. They're vertically extensive, and they have not only myself excited about it, but John Black, another director on the company, and our chairman, Doug Kerwin, are all really excited about this project.
Yeah, so for the layperson, let's talk a little bit about what quartz tourmaline breccia pipes are and why they're important. And generally, they oftentimes are explored as the tops of porphyry copper systems. And they can be very high grade, but they're often somewhat limited in their aerial extent. Now, there are world-class quartz tourmaline breccia pipes with copper and moly, especially in Chile and Peru. But how did this whole thing come about where you really focused on the breccia pipe portion and perhaps not an underlying porphyry target?
Yeah, I guess I was originally captivated by the porphyry potential of Soledad because it does have a lot of the conceptual attributes. It has great district zoning, there's vertical zoning on the property that all fits very well with the conceptual porphyry copper model. I was taken in by that, and it was really Doug Kerwin that recognized the potential of the breccia pipes themselves, and his view was, don't worry about the porphyry right now, let's focus on the breccia pipes. He felt that they were high enough grade, especially with respect to gold. The tourmaline breccia pipes at Soledad are very high grade in gold. Most tourmaline breccia pipe systems are copper moly, as you mentioned.
Exactly.
And so this one's somewhat unique, but it was really Doug's inspiration, I think, to get us focused on the pipes themselves. You know, my view is maybe there is a porphyry down there somewhere, but right now we're not focused on that. We're just.
And so previous operators, correct me if I'm wrong, have focused on that porphyry target that should be at depth if we use normal geological zoning and porphyry copper models.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And they did some great work. They did some deep seeking geophysics. They did some deep drilling. They did a lot of the right things, but as far as evaluating the potential of the pipes, they really didn't touch that. They were trying to drill down the center of the pipes to reach the bottom and hopefully go into a porphyry. And we know that the really important thing about drilling breccia pipes is to drill across the pipes.
You got to drill them at angles.
You got to hit those margin zones.
Absolutely. So for the lay investor, these things are vertical in their extent, and oftentimes the outer rim or the annular ring is where the highest grades are, because that's where the permeability is, if you will, and most more fluids can come up. So tell me, who were the companies that drilled this previously?
Well, Mariana Resources were in there in 2014 and 15. They drilled 12 holes on the property, had some really interesting results. And in fact, it was that work that gave us the confidence in knowing what we were doing in terms of designing the drill program and kind of what to expect in terms of some of the grades. Mariana left after their discovery in Turkey in the Hot Madden project, and they walked away from everything in Peru. And then a private Peruvian company called Casapalca came in, and they drilled four deep holes just looking for the porphyry. And after their program was completed without hitting the porphyry, then they walked away as well. And it was perfect timing for us because we had just put the founder group together to actually start looking for properties in Peru, and so it was really perfect timing to get onto this.
Well, let's talk a bit about that founder group now. I know Doug Kerwin. Doug is his reputation precedes him. He's one of the most famous economic geologists in the world, not only for his work as a geologist, but his mineral collection, as you're well aware. And, I've known John Black since my days at Kennecott, back when we used to say, you're not a good geologist until you work for Bear Creek Mining. Well, John was the porphyry geologist at Bingham Canyon during that period of time.
Yeah, both of those guys, I mean, it's just a treat for me to be able to work with those guys. I've learned so much from John over the last 20 years since I've known him, and Doug I've known for 15 years, and they're both legends in my mind, and I think their success speaks for itself. They've both been very instrumental in getting the company on the right track and staying focused on this asset. There's lots of other projects out there, and you know, as a geologist, you're always wanting to go to the next pasture, but this one is so unique and special. I think that we're all committed to just focusing on this asset, maximizing the amount of money that we raise and getting that into the ground and putting the results out there for the shareholders.
Okay, so you led me to my next segue, and that's talk a bit about your share structure, your market cap, cash in the bank, et cetera, some of the things that are essential to evaluating a junior company.
Yeah, so we have 80 million shares outstanding. We started trading on the TSX on January 31st this year, so we're relatively new in the marketplace. We've raised $22 million since the start. We've done really well with the financing, and that's because we've had a really strong finance team behind us, supporting us. We still have $12 million in the bank, and that's enough to get us through this current drilling program with the goal of producing a maiden resource in March of 2019.
Oh, that's pretty fast. So start to finish, you're looking at a year and 1 quarter to come up with an initial resource estimate. And to my knowledge, you've got at least 15 breccia pipes, and you just found a blind one, which for the lay investor means it does not outcrop. So tell me a little bit about the potential for other pipes and
so we, like you said, we have 15 pipes that crop out at surface, and that's you can see the pipe, you can sample the pipe. They're all gold bearing. That's our key pathfinder element. If you see the breccia texture and you have gold in it, you've got a mineralized breccia pipe. We also have 11 highly altered zones that from our drilling we know is characteristic of the edge or the margin or the halo of the pipe. Highly altered quartz, sericite, sheeted veining in the host rock, and we believe that those targets too are the surface expression of blind pipes. We also have geophysical targets that show us these vertical bodies of conductivity in areas where there is no outcrop. So we also have blind geophysical targets.
Now, lots of exploration potential in addition to what you know and what you're drilling. You've recently added some more land. You've got 3 packages of land. You took some ground from Barrick, and this is we really haven't talked about where this is. It's in the Cordillera Negra of Peru, which I worked for 2 years back in right after the discovery of Piarina, which is just up the road, maybe 35 kilometers or something. You've got a mining center, a significant town in Huaraz, and highway access all the way up to Huaraz. And the other thing I noticed, correct me if I'm wrong, but these things are kind of on the side of a mountain, so you've got a valley below. So if you actually find something, it gets big, theoretically you could drive in and mine using gravity to help yourself, right?
That's exactly right. The way they sit on the mountain is just ideal from a mining perspective. There's 500 meters of relief from the valley bottom to the top, which means you can come in underneath the pipes, you can mine the individual pipes with connected infrastructure. The potential to mine multiple pipes presents itself. You can even mine multiple levels within a single pipe. So if we get the resources, we're real optimistic about the mineability of the deposit and being able to produce significant tons from an underground operation.
So I'm going to switch gears once again and talk about your 52-week high and low and your market cap. And you know, this is a bear market this summer for commodities, and I've been saying some of these stocks are on sale, so why don't you elaborate a little bit there?
Yeah, I think our high was $1.05. We came out at 50 cents. We did an RTO and started trading January 31st. We went up to 80, 90 cents right away. We did a financing in March for $8 million at 90 cents. I think shortly thereafter we hit about $1.05 was our high, and we've kind of been on this gradual decline through the summer, and some people attribute it to the summer doldrums and the sell in May go away kind of thing. We've seen copper collapse
at a year low. If it closes next week, a week from today, and this is July 18th, if it closes where it is today at 275, that's a year low for copper. That's pretty amazing.
No, we don't like to see it, of course, but as you mentioned, it does create a buying opportunity. We had institutional investors that came in that 90-cent round, and it was a great financing. But you know, they're good long-term shareholders, and we know that they believe in what we're doing. We've gotten lots of support and compliments for the work that we're doing and the news flow that's coming out. So we're going to keep our head down and keep doing what we've been doing and continue to drill, and with that goal of an initial resource in March. The cutoff will be in mid-January for that. And I think the share price will come back. I think copper's a great story long term.
It really is.
And you know, the interesting thing about Soledad is about 60% of the value is in gold, and we've already confirmed that we have free gold in the deposit with the studies that we've done.
That,
And so we've got high-grade copper, but with very significant gold going with it. So we're excited about that combination.
All right. Well, I'm excited too, and rest assured, you're on my watch list right now, my radar screen. Folks, I would urge you to take a look at Chakana Copper. It trades under the symbol. This is really easy. Peru, P-E-R-U, on the Venture Exchange. And David, tell us where you trade on the OTCQB, I think? Yeah,
we're on the OTC in the U.S., and the ticker symbol there is CHKKF.
CHKKF? I'm going to check it out, see what you think. That's Mickey Fulp, the mercenary geologist, with David Kelley. Ciao for now.